It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host for today, Kevin McIntosh. Another day, another opportunity to talk to the community, starting with the West Bloomfield Police Department honoring one of their fallen heroes. The police department is actually teaming up with West Bloomfield Parks as well as the American Red Cross to set up a blood drive. That'll be Friday, September 20th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Now, this is all being done to honor the memory of the late Sergeant Patrick O'Rourke, a fallen officer who was shot and killed in the line of duty 12 years ago in the year 2012. And our Civic Center TV's very own Jake Schaff is out at the location to tell us a little bit more about it. What's going on, Jake?
Yes, Kevin, good morning. I'm here standing outside of West Bloomfield Parks Connect. And yes, the event just got started just a little bit ago. I've already seen some people walking in, ready to donate some blood and ready to help save some lives. All it takes is just a little bit of effort and a little bit of blood to help make a big difference right here in the community and to help so many people. So it's always great to see.
Good to see right there, too. Like we said, Civic Center TV's very own Jake Schaff live on location at WB Parks Connect Senior Center. They'll be out there for the blood drive to honor the late Sergeant Patrick O'Rourke, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We actually had an opportunity to speak with Officer Zena Daly of the West Bloomfield Police Department earlier this week to give us a little bit more details about the event and about the life of Sergeant Patrick O'Rourke as well. But if you do want to check out that entire interview, it is on our website in its entirety. Go to civiccentertv.com, click on the on-demand tab, just search blood drive. If you want more information about the blood drive, go to Facebook, West Bloomfield PD as well. Keeping things local in West Bloomfield, talking about great news. West Bloomfield tennis team brought home the hardware. They actually won the OAA Blue Championship that was earlier this year. You know how significant that win was? It was their first win since 2007. Yes, if you're watching on CivicCenterTV.com right now, you can see a picture of the champions celebrating that massive victory. We appreciate our Lakers and congratulate them right here at Civic Center TV. And you can congratulate them yourself also. Go directly to their Facebook page, West Bloomfield Schools, to say some congratulations and send a couple emojis their way too to show them some love as well. Keeping things within the West Bloomfield School District, Gretschko Elementary Playground will be opening very, very soon. As in Friday, September 27th, Gretschko Elementary School will be hosting and holding a special ribbon-cutting ceremony to unveil their brand new playground, by the way. This playground has been inspired by the history of Apple Island and features inclusive play spaces for children of all ages. Keep that in mind. It's a very similar event that will also be held for Scotts Elementary at a later date. We will keep you updated, but if you want to follow along with all the information yourself, of course, you can go directly to the West Bloomfield School District's website, wbsd.org. Now, moving on to different types of seniors in the community. Veterans in Sylvan Lake and the Lakes area will get to enjoy some quality time with each other. A great safe space at the next Veterans Coffee, which will be held Wednesday, September 25th at Evolve Juice and Smoothie on Orchard Lake Road. This will be in Kego Harbor, by the way. All veterans from the local community are welcome, by the way. Great coffee, conversation, beverages, breakfast, great vibes, energy all together. You can see the photo from one of the recent Veterans Coffee meetup on CivicCenterTV.com right now. This group is still growing, by the way. It's getting bigger if you haven't noticed, and it's growing fast. So if you are interested in joining, you should contact Kelly Krause to RSVP as soon as possible. And you can find her information on Facebook as well. That'll be under the Sylvan Lake What's Going On Facebook group. Sylvan Lake What's Going On. Search that on Facebook, and you can get all the information that you need right there. Now, West Bloomfield residents that need to get things done at Town Hall today specifically should be aware that the hours will be cut just a little bit short this afternoon. They'll be closed to the public at 3:30 p.m. today, September 20th. Other than that, the clerk's office, that will still remain open until 4 p.m. today. This is to make way for a few things that's going on. One, the Household Hazardous Waste Senior Drop-Off Day, which is today, and that's going to assist them, and as well as assisting in the staging for the West Bloomfield High School Homecoming Parade. That's happening this evening for the way, which we all hope to see you out there. That'll be right before the big game as well. For more information regarding the closing times, the hours of operation, anything else, go directly to the Facebook as well of the West Bloomfield Clerk's Office. West Bloomfield Clerk's Office on Facebook directly to check that out. Now, there's plenty more things going on right here in the West Bloomfield community, and we love to tell you about it. Give you a reason to get outside of the house. And there's a 2-day art event series at Art and Frame that'll give you a reason to get out and check out what's going on with some of these local artists and give you some inspiration. So joining us right here live on The Splash, the artists and curators for that event, Daniel Parker and Kaya Shipman. Thank you both for being here. And I just want to ask you, starting off, Daniel, what inspired you to create this cartoons and serial event series, and how does it reflect your artistic vision?
Well, it happened a long time ago, actually. It started maybe before the pandemic, probably before I moved back to Michigan, actually. I wanted to be able to put a platform together and, just basically get artists that I know in the city that wanted to be a part of the event, because we've had a rough 5 years with the pandemic and everything. And with that being said, boredom happened. And then with boredom, we didn't have anything during the pandemic to do. So during the pandemic, I started jotting down a lot of notes, started thinking about, like, you had a lot of time, had a lot of thoughts. Basically, like, I had, I'm sorry. I'm a little nervous, but I basically had a lot of time on my hands to basically come up with this idea of what I watched as a kid, like a lot of things that brought a lot of joy when I was a kid, and I wanted to be able to display that on some art, basically. My grandmother passed in 2018, and that was the motivation for me right there. Everything began.
Sorry to hear that.
Yes, so with her passing, she gave me the motivation to want to put together this show. Basically how I grew up. I grew up in a house with a big family. We all used to get up in the morning and watch cartoons, eat a lot of cereal. And with that, that's how I had a passion with art. So I started drawing, and then when my grandmother passed, I kept hearing her voice of like, do something, like create. She always knew I knew how to draw, so she would always tell me to keep drawing. I kept hearing her voice. So I started drawing, then eventually started messing around with some paints. And then I moved back to Detroit, ended up getting back with my mentor. And we did a few murals around the city. And then, like I said, during the pandemic, I just had a lot of time to really register and everything. And I came up with these ideas. And then I had a host of friends that basically knew how to do art as well, that was passionate. And we all had similar backgrounds in childhood. So, everybody gets a lot of inspiration from, their childhood. So that's the basis and the premise of it.
Yeah, I like to hear that, Daniel, and that's great too, because I'm an advocate for art and creativity in general, and we talk about that a lot right here on this platform. Continuing with you real quick, Daniel, and then Kai, I want you to actually answer and add on to this too. How did you curate the group exhibition? What criteria did you use for the artists and their work to be displayed?
For me, well, just what was the story behind that? Like, what was the story of like, when you hear a cartoon and serial, what do you think of? Like, what do you get that? A lot of them had was family oriented. A lot of them, a lot of the responses I got, and then a lot of the works that I've seen. A lot of people were passionate and had a lot of, like I said, a lot of the similar interests, and that's kind of how we picked it. And a lot of them are a lot of seasoned artists as well. So I've done shows with them around the city, and some of them I know, like they're really great friends. So.
And
Kai, you too, want to add on?
Yeah, of course. like Danny said, a lot of it started with what were they saying, and we wanted to keep
Mm-hmm.
it similar to like things that Danny was doing, taking inspiration from his like family, his upbringing, continuing on that conversation, kind of like of storytelling, this history, this legacy, and then even beyond that, looking stylistically, we wanted to capture a range. So looking at things that were more quote unquote. Animated or cartoonish, but in a style that was like super like elevated and fun and familiar. And then also looking at things that were more on the realism side. Just
Right.
because even looking at Danny's own work, he blends the two kind of like effortlessly. So we wanted something
Mm-hmm.
that felt very native to his own styles, looking at all different types of factors.
Nice, nice, nice. And I love how it takes so many different perspectives to come through, so many different, even you doing a survey, Daniel, to kind of get people's feel for even just the title. I love all the work that went into this actual planning for this event. With us right here live on the Splash, talking about an art event series happening at Art and Frame in West Bloomfield. We have curators and artists for that event, Daniel Parker and Kaya Shipman, excuse me. Now, I want to ask you about this, going back to you, Daniel, real quick. Why is it important or significant for you all to partner with a business locally in West Bloomfield like Art and Frame for your art event?
I just felt like it made sense, and then just going in there and talking to Bradley and just seeing how passionate he was about what he does. Like it was certain things I didn't know about framing, and I was just sitting. It was supposed to be like when I initially met with him, we were supposed to meet for a half an hour. I ended up being in the store with him for 4 hours just because we were just talking about life, talking about his craft, talking about the different frames and the glass, and I was like, man, I said I'm an artist. And I never really thought about that. You know what I mean? I never really thought about that aspect
Yeah.
as far as the framing. And, framing is so
Yeah.
important to your art. Like it's the preservation, the preservation of it, it like keeps the art together, and it makes it just look so much,
Yep.
the presentation just looks so much better. And he had so many different styles in there. And like I said, he was very passionate. And then I was like, well, I'm doing the show. So I'm like, I'm bringing the source to you. You make the frame, I'm bringing the artist to you. So I'm like, it just made a lot of sense, And then also, he's gonna be able to enlighten so many of the artists in the community,
Yes, no, that's great. That's a great point right there. And I've had a chance to talk to Brad too over at Art and Frame. Great people over there. I love everything that they're doing. And like you said, framing your artwork is a whole nother aspect to the artwork in itself. That's art itself. You know what I'm saying? As you probably already knew, like there's certain types of framing that helps with certain types of pictures, preserve it a little bit better, makes it look a whole bunch nicer also. And like I said, I already know you know about that. So great information right there. Kaya, getting to you real quick. How do you believe community events like this play a role in supporting and amplifying the voices of local artists?
I think I know this saying is for raising children, but I use it regardless. It takes a village. And I think even like looking at like the month of design, art and frame, us as individuals, us as brands, the other artists, it really does take everyone's involvement for everyone's success. So having Bradley come and offering the space and having something that was already in line with storytelling, that's one thing. Having the support of design core, that's another thing. Having the support of the artists and just having them willing to participate and believe in us, that's like a whole other thing. So when everybody kind of puts this like best foot forward and is like wanting to do this more like community-based events, one, it helps not only themselves but everybody in their community. And when that's going
Yeah.
on, it's like
Yes.
almost inevitable for everybody to kind of level up. And I know me and Danny and everybody involved, we kind of like move like that. And I know Detroit as a whole moves like that. So,
Yes, ma'am.
we're just going to keep going.
It takes a village.
Yeah. No, I get it. And no, the way you put it, it just makes sense. Like We need these voices, these opportunities, these platforms and spaces for our local artists to express themselves. This is the way that we express ourselves. I'm including myself in that as an artist. This is the way we express ourselves, through that type of art. So to have these platforms and collaborate with each other and with businesses, it makes so much of a difference. We kind of running low on time, but real quick, before we get out of here, Daniel, going to you real quick. What do you hope attendees will engage, or how do you hope attendees will engage with the art and the activities during the exhibition?
I hope they engage by just, talking to your neighbor, getting familiar, also just reflecting and taking a step back and looking at, some of the things that they had as a child that they, maybe took for granted, as we get to these new ages and new times, we understand that time is of the essence. And,
Technology,
some of those things, technology, it just lets you know how things just keep moving. Nothing stays the same. And, so one item may be able to take you back, and then it's also funny, certain generations may not have seen or used a VCR, something so simple, man, so I'm going to have a few different items in there from the past. I actually have a lot of old stuff from my childhood that I'm going to have that my mom preserved in a box, so it's all going to be scattered around. So it's going to be fun, and it's going to be interactive, and I hope everybody can just reflect and, like I said, just enjoy the moment and have, a little bit of nostalgia for a couple of days.
Bro, did you say, I'm sorry, you say a VCR, bro? You are going to take, some of these kids are going to look at you like a dinosaur when you bring that out. That's like bringing out an 8-track for me. I'm like, what is this? No, I love that, though. I love that because, like you said, that's all part of our childhood and our connection. And real quick, Kaya, before we go, any additional last information people need to know if they are interested in this art series event?
I say come bring a friend, be yourself, be open to learning and like being interested in new things. Especially I think with like the framing portion, just be open to learn.
Right. Absolutely. It's going to be a lot there, a lot to expect, and we are excited to be there. And we thank you both for not only taking time to be here, but collaborating with local West Bloomfield businesses to provide those type of events there. Once again, from the 2-day art event series that will be happening at Art and Frame in West Bloomfield, September 20th and September 21st, we have Daniel Parker and Kaya Shipman. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Love talking about creative, artsy events going on right here in West Bloomfield. It's a 2-day art series, by the way. It starts today, Friday, September 20th, 6:30 to 8. That's a framing workshop led by Bradley Gordon. And then tomorrow, Saturday, September 21st, 5 p.m. to 9:30, a curated group exhibition that showcases artwork from nostalgic childhood experiences. Go to Facebook, Art and Frame Co. for more information. We got a lot more to talk about that's affecting the greater West Bloomfield area. We'll get to that soon. We are live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
Hi, I'm Lauren Azuri, the Park Naturalist Supervisor for West Bloomfield Parks. Congratulations to you, Civic Center TV, for hitting 1 million views on YouTube. We really appreciate your partnership in spreading nature education in a creative way in our community. I'm Lauren Azuri, proud to be 1 in a million.
Good nutrition can help make sure you have enough iron, calcium, and vitamin C in your body, which can make it harder for lead to enter your bloodstream. Help protect your family from the harmful effects of lead.
Watch West Bloomfield Lakers football all season long on 89.3 Lakes FM and Civic Center TV. Join Tyler Keefe and Matt Catoni each week for live, in-depth, and exclusive coverage before, during, and after the big game. It's your local high school football team on the road and in your backyard on your home for West Bloomfield Laker football, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for joining us. I am your host, Kevin McIntosh. Now, as fall progresses into the winter season, especially right here in the West Bloomfield area, the shorter days and reduced sunlight seems to contribute to lower serotonin levels, contributing to residents being sad, which is an acronym for seasonal affective disorder. I just learned that today. So joining us right here on The Splash to give us more information from a professional perspective, we have motivational speaker from the Positive Shift, Stacey Renee. Thank you for being here.
It is my pleasure, always a pleasure, and I enjoy helping all the local community. And we need a redirection sometimes for our mindset. Reminders are always helpful. Thanks for having me.
So this is why we have you here to talk about this. I don't think too many people put notice on this, but how do you think the changing seasons, especially right here in Michigan, affect going from the winter to the fall summer to the winter to the fall, or summer, fall, winter, excuse me. How does that affect the mental and emotional well-being, especially in older adults in West Bloomfield?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me here. And, there's a lot of weight to the seasons. Michigan is known for their 4 seasons, but it also has a lot to do with your mental health, the status and how you feel, and just your overall well being. And, with less sunlight coming in, we're getting to be having busy schedules. Kids are going back to school. And it's a common experience for us to dip in the mood and keep our motivation strong. And there are definitely several ways to keep proactive and energized during this time. And like you said about sad is a type of depression, and it occurs at the same time each year during the winter time. And so what we can do is our internal clock is telling us, I have to go to bed, I have to go to sleep. And, we just have to kind of think about different ways that we can be more proactive in helping us with our mood effect. I did kind of get a couple of ideas, and it's to get refocused and energy, keep us going, right? I mean, have you experienced this before?
Yes, I think we all have, essentially. And that's the thing, too, with especially being here in Michigan. Not only does the winter time, keep us indoors, but we're away from people a lot more. Some of us are now, especially in the aging population, you become empty nesters. Like you said, your kids go to school. So you're not only dealing with isolation from people, but isolation from the community, but from people in general. So yeah, I definitely experienced it myself, just being a Michigander.
Right. And I think sometimes being aware of the common effects and the warning signs that would trigger us as we transition into the season. So some of the common signs are feeling more fatigued than usual, difficulty concentrating, a loss of interest in activities that you usually would enjoy, and challenges in your sleep pattern, or even your appetite. And before you know it, you're withdrawing from social events, you're feeling down, and these are all early signs of SAD. So, knowing what the signs are is the number one key.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm glad you explained that too. As you were talking about it, I'm like, I definitely feel that. And you know what's so crazy? Even during the summer, I feel like I'm not the only person who felt fatigue often, want to just kind of stay to myself at some times. So even during the summer times, I feel like this could actually happen. But during the fall and the winter times, when people aren't even outside, then it's more of like a hibernation thing, especially right here in our greater West Bloomfield area. But just to reset the show, join us right here on The Splash, motivational speaker from the Positive Shift, Stacey Renee. Join us just talking about the seasonal affective disorder, also known as SAD, that can happen when we transition from summer to fall into the winter months also. How important would you say physical activity and maintaining a social routine is for combating these seasonal depressions?
It's a game changer to have a plan in place. And here are a few tips that can actually help you. And one is increase exposure to natural light. Sometimes I think we get so in tune to just being in our house or just going from the house to the car to your activity, but getting some exposure to natural outside, going outside, going for a short walk, putting your feet on the ground. And okay, it's a little cold, it's a little wet. That's okay. But feeling the connection with the earth, as crazy as that sounds, really does
Yes.
have a significant
Yes.
game changer to us. And I know that you and I spoke about that before. It's important to do that. The other thing is, it's so easy to fall out of a routine. So maintaining a routine, sticking to the regular schedule for sleep, meals, exercise can regulate your mood. Staying connected socially, that's really important as well. Don't isolate yourself. It's so easy to do, like, oh, I don't want to go out. My couch feels really good. So make sure that you make plans with friends to keep your social spirits up. Something else that is really easy to fall out of, like more than anything in the world, and that's exercise. So exercising regularly, the physical activity really helps your mood and it boosts it immensely. And people think that they have to do it for an hour, 45 minutes. Well, let me tell you, my friends, you don't. And if you can just do something and get yourself motivated and have a workout accountability person. And that is huge. And I've recently been doing that. And that is been a game changer for me in the last 2 weeks because I have been affected recently by this SAD and I'm not allowing it to take me over anymore.
There you
And
go.
motivation and accountability is key. And then the last thing that I'd kind of like to add in is, consider light therapy. If you can't get out, you can't do these things, they have resources. They have things that you can do. So light therapy is a box. It mimics the natural sunlight, and it's also really known to help with the sad situation. And I actually have one. And if it wasn't in my room, I would run and get it. But it's a light that is about like this big. Sometimes if you get up in the morning and you just take 5 minutes to yourself and just sit there
Yes.
and have that light come into you, that is a game changer. And only you can make the change, only you can be the change. That's
No,
important to remember.
100%. No, it's a whole, like you said, like it's a routine. It's making sure you stay social, stay connected, having accountability buddy, as some people say. All of those things kind of play a role in keeping that motivation. Because like you said, whether we believe it or not, nature plays a huge role in our mood, the weather and
Sure does.
everything like that. And we know in Michigan, the seasons can get depressing, but we have to overcome that and combat that. So with us right here live on the Splash, motivational speaker from the Positive Shift, Stacey Renee, talking about combating being sad, seasonal affective disorder, transitioning from summer to fall to winter. Now, we just talked about identifying stages or symptoms of going through this disorder, and then also solutions. So what role can community support and family connections play in helping older adults, especially right here in West Bloomfield, stay positive and motivated during the seasonal changes? And how can they foster these relationships in practical ways?
Well, practical steps and encouragement are what we need to identify as well. So here are some great tips. The key is to prioritize self-care and to set boundaries for yourself. That is so easy to forget, and don't overcommit to yourself. I do that all the time, but let me tell you, no is a simple sentence. No. No explanation, no reason. You're taking care of yourself, and there are 24 hours in a day, and you deserve to have at least a half an hour to yourself. Whether you sit, you meditate, you have that light therapy in front, you go put your feet on the ground. Boundaries are super important. Make time to relax, practice mindfulness and focus on what brings you joy rather than getting caught up in all the busyness. So important. We do get caught, and you know what? You are the owner of your calendar, so you have the right to say no. And take small steps into, maybe you work out or just do some exercises. A great thing to do is just move your arm up and down and then take your thumb and like move it back and forth. You'd be amazed how that will help your energy. It's just moving your body. It's simple things. Get up, jump around your house.
Yeah.
Let's just do these things
Yeah.
and don't hesitate. I'm going to tell you, do not hesitate to ask because somebody else, one of your other friends or colleagues is feeling the same thing that you are. And if you don't ask, you could be not doing enough for yourself. So ask somebody, make them your accountability partner.
Yeah.
And one final thought for those that may be struggling to be motivated, remember the feelings of sad are temporary. Everything that you're going through in life is temporary. It's how you handle the outcome of it. Small daily actions like getting outside, again, moving your body, staying connected, and others, that really makes the biggest impact because
Stacey, I'm
you know,
sorry to
my
cut you
friend,
off.
get
No,
motivated. No, no,
please.
no, you're good, my friend.
And you brought up a great point, and because of that, I just thought of something else. We have a lot of activity going on right here in our local community. West Bloomfield Parks put on a lot of different events, and they have opportunities for people to participate. So can you just talk about very briefly before we let you go, how important it is to actually be involved in some of these activities that we have for the greater West Bloomfield community?
You know, getting out sometimes does more for you than you realize. Getting out, and you may feel a little insecure at first. If you're out, look at somebody that is maybe just kind of standing there. They're trying to get out. Go socialize with them. I mean, the West Bloomfield has so many events, so many things. I was at a ribbon cutting last night, and I have to tell you, I felt so energized by the time that I got home. I felt like my body was buzzing
There you
because
go.
I was around positive energy people. Like I was adapting. I was like, wow, this is great. And I went up to people I didn't know. I'm like, hi, I'm Stacy. And, it really does make a big difference from going out, being part of the community, being with one versus sitting on your couch. Be you.
Yes.
And real quick, I do have 7 tips just to avoid seasonal depression.
Please.
So if I could run those off real quick.
Come on.
Okay, stay active. Regular physical activity is and to boost your mood and energy level. Number 2 is getting outside. Again, refreshers, fresh air, sunlight. Even on cloudy days, it can still help reduce SAD. 3, plan ahead. Break down holiday tasks because the holidays are just coming. I think there's 98 days left till Christmas. So think about that. You don't want to get overwhelmed. 4, social support. Make time for friends and family, even if it's virtual. Number 5, don't forget the light therapy. Consider light therapy, even if it's yucky outside. Number 6, focus on nutrition. Eat a balanced, rich diet. That is huge. If you're going to consume a lot of sugars, you're really going to have the sugar crash and you're really not going to feel good about yourself. So, healthy fruits, vegetables, of course, vitamin D is key essential. And the last one is mindfulness and gratefulness. Practice mindfulness, meditation, telling yourself that you love yourself. And I know that that's really hard and weird to do, but your body listens to yourself. So why not tell yourself, I love you?
I love
And it
you.
takes you a lot. So hopefully those little last 7 tips will help you get through the day and make yourself a better you.
Yes, yes, and we appreciate that. Perfect place to land the plane. Thank you for that motivation and that energy and information. Once again, motivational speaker from the Positive Shift, Stacy Renee. We appreciate you again.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm fired up and motivated just from speaking to her alone, but that is something to keep in consideration. As the seasons change, our mood tends to change, our routines change. So keep things up, keep things positive. For more information, positiveshiftahead.com for all of the tips and information that Stacy Renee had for us. Now, locally in West Bloomfield, there are some things going on that you need to be aware of. The West Bloomfield Fire Department is hosting an open house on Sunday, October 13, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. A lot of information going on, a lot of activities. Let's not spoil it now. I actually have someone join us right here on the splash to give out those details. So with us right here from the West Bloomfield Fire Department, we have Fire Marshal Byron Turnquist. Thank you for being here, sir.
Good morning. Happy to be here. How are you today?
I'm doing just fine, especially now that you're here. Let's just start off with the information and details of the West Bloomfield Fire Department open house, please.
So, like you said, Sunday, October 13th, begins at noon and ends at 3. There's plenty of parking at the West Bloomfield High School, and Parks and Rec, we've partnered with them over the last several years, has coordinated giving us a shuttle so that it's easy to get your family from the high school up to the fire station for the event.
Nice. Okay. Very convenient and considerate right there. So what are some of the, let's just get into some generics of it. What are some important fire safety tips West Bloomfield residents should know and keep in mind, especially going into these colder months?
The most important thing that we can recommend is have working smoke alarms throughout your entire home. Your smoke alarms should be, if they're older than 10 years old, they need to be replaced. We've gotten away from the change your battery every 6 months. The newer smoke alarms that are being produced and are available for everyone have a 10-year battery. But it's very important if that smoke alarm is more than 10 years old that you replace it. They lose their sensitivity, they don't work as designed, and you need those things properly installed throughout your home to give you that early warning in case there is a fire, to give you as much time as possible to get out.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Fire Marshal. I'm surprised 10 years. I feel like that's too long. 10 years max, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try to change it even sooner than that just to be proactive. But that sounds like pretty much common sense, but I see that's something that we have to remind people of consistently. That was even on the Facebook page of the fire department I saw earlier. So going back to this open house, Fire Marshal Turnquist, what types of activities and demonstrations do we have planned and that you feel like will have the biggest impact for families?
Well, some of the fun things for all the children is obviously seeing the fire trucks up close, getting to meet some of your firefighter paramedics in the township. But there's some hands-on demonstrations. This year, we're going to be, the EMS division is going to work on a hands-on CPR quick trainer to give people an idea and a better understanding of just how to do hands-only CPR. The tech rescue team and the hazmat team will be on site and have some demonstrations for us. And one of the fan favorites and typical things that we do every year is we do an extrication demonstration. We get a car from the salvage yard that we're able to cut up, and people can see how the jaws of life work and you know, some of the tools that people don't get to see every day from your fire department.
And you know what? I think it's a great opportunity for people to understand that the job of our firefighters and in the system that they work within isn't as simple as they think. It's not just go to a fire, put it out, go back and have these days and we just wait for the next fire. There's a lot going on with that and they're risking their lives. So I love to add that perspective in there too. Join us right here on The Splash from the West Bloomfield Fire Department, Fire Marshal Byron Turnquist, talking about the upcoming open house from the fire department, October 13th as well. Now I see that we will also be featuring, correct me if I'm wrong, Sparky the fire dog will be there, also a good well-known figure for the community and for the kids. But how do you feel like mascots and even these interactive activities help engage children to learn about fire safety education?
Well, we try to make it fun and make the event fun for the entire family, and we sneak in the fire safety message. Whether it's planning your exit from your home, knowing that you have 2 ways out of every room, to developing or setting that family meeting place outside. So if the smoke alarms go off and your family knows that they need to exit the home, where do they go? You know, everybody needs to go to the mailbox or the tree in the front yard. And keep in mind when you're picking that place that it's not right at the street where the fire trucks and firefighters are going to be arriving. You want to have that a safe distance or a safe place where you can meet and that you know where everybody is and that everybody got out of the home. And when we arrive on scene, you can say, yep, everybody's out of the house, or no, my husband is in the upstairs bedroom, and you can identify exactly where that window is so that we can effectively perform a rescue.
See, we've mentioned that a few times here on this show, but you can never mention it too many times because not everyone actually listens to that. It's actually important to have that plan in place for your household and your family. Yes, we don't want that to happen, but worst case scenario, always prepare for that just in case. Now, I see that we are also, the fire department is also collaborating, Alana's Foundation, if I said that right, offering flu shots at this event. How does the fire department see the connection between promoting public safety and public health?
Well, it's a huge part of public health or public safety. They do go hand in hand. We've had a great partnership with the Alanis Foundation, and if you're interested in getting a flu shot, make sure you bring your insurance card. There'll be a quick registration process, and they'll be able to give you a flu shot right here on site.
Great information. Any other key information for residents about this event, about fire safety, or anything else before we let you go?
No, we're keeping our fingers crossed that we have another beautiful day. The weather's been nice so far, and we look forward to seeing everybody on the 13th.
All right, sounds good. Sunday, October 13th, 12 noon, 3 p.m., Fire Station 1 on Orchard Lake Road north of West Bloomfield High School. From the West Bloomfield Fire Department Fire Marshal, Byron Turnquist, we appreciate your time, sir.
Thanks. Have a great weekend.
Absolutely. Likewise. Great event and great information for you to go. And bring out the family, too, like we said. If you're watching on Civic Center TV, they got a lot of activity teaching you about fire safety and what you should and should not do just in case. But there's a lot more to talk about and what's going on locally in the greater West Bloomfield area. We'll get straight to it. We are live, local, social. It's The Splash live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Missed one of our live broadcasts or one of your local municipal meetings? Check it out online at civiccentertv.com. Every meeting, show, and interview on demand. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Live, local, and social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Join our team as we highlight people and events that are making an impact in the greater West Bloomfield area. Catch us live Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Watch us on demand at civiccentertv.com. Or watch us on TV at Comcast Channel 15 or AT&T at Channel 99.
Hi, I'm Kelly Heyer, Executive Director for West Bloomfield Parks. Congratulations, Civic Center TV, on 1 million views on YouTube. I just want to take a moment to say thank you, Civic Center TV, for your amazing coverage, always making sure our parks and facilities and our programs shine. I'm Kelly Heyer, proud to be 1 in a million.
And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Kevin McIntosh. Now, the West Bloomfield Township Public Library is actually hosting a screening of a film called Undivide Us, which will be presented by Interfaith Leadership Council of Metro Detroit. This will be on Monday, September 23rd, with discussions to address polarization fueled by politicians, news media, social media, and creating distrust amongst citizens. So join us right here live on The Splash to talk a little bit more about this film. From the Interfaith Leadership Council of Metro Detroit, we have the Assistant Program Manager, Beth Falinsky, joining us, and I appreciate you for being here, Beth. Let's get straight into it. Can you please start off with giving us more details about the film Undivide Us?
Yeah. Hi, good morning. Thank you for having me on. The film is really meant to speak to the polarization that this country is feeling in this moment, and to address the idea that we cannot, or we feel that we cannot, come together and have a civil conversation across differences. So this film is really meant to bring people together to, think about that topic and how we can come together as a community to combat the toxic polarization we're feeling.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you gave out more information regarding that. But the title in itself basically does explain that, and I do want to dive into all of that a little bit more. But Monday, September 23rd, West Bloomfield Public Township Library was where we will be doing the film screening, and a little bit more on. Can you just give a little bit more in regards to that event before we move forward?
Sure. As you said, it's going to be Monday from 6 to 8:30 at the West Bloomfield Public Library. we have, if you visit the Interfaith Leadership Council website, which is Interfaith, if you visit the website, you'll be able to have information on how to sign up for that. There's a link to sign up. So I encourage you to grab your seat. We have a lot of people already attending, so seats are limited. So if you're interested in signing up, go ahead and visit our website for more information on how to do that.
Thank you. Yeah. So now I want to kind of get into that too, and with your organization, but with us right here live on the Splash, joining us from the Interfaith Leadership Council of Metro Detroit, Assistant Program Manager Beth Falinsky. Now with your organization, Interfaith Leadership Council, how did you all get involved in this film screening in general and bringing it to West Bloomfield Public Library?
Yeah, so we really felt that this year, especially, was an important year to address the topic of polarization that we're feeling as a nation, and then also locally in our communities. And especially with the election coming up, we knew that this is an important topic to cover. People are really feeling divided, they're feeling unsure. So when the opportunity to host this film screening came up, we jumped at it. And very kindly are able to host the event at the West Bloomfield Public Library, who we've partnered with in the past. So very excited to offer this to the community locally and to the others within our network who want to come and be a part of this event. There's going to be a film screening and then also a community discussion afterward. So that's going to be, I think, very impactful. And then throughout this year, we've also had we've offered a polarization series. So we've marked this film screening as a part of the polarization series. We offered a different film screening earlier in the year, an online polarization detox challenge over the summer. And then next month, we're also planning another community discussion around the topic of politics and personal relationships. So we're really looking forward to that. So if you head to our website, if you have interest, you'll be able to find more information on that as well.
DetroitInterfaithCouncil.com is that website you want to head over to for more information regarding that. You said a lot of interesting thing, a polarization detox challenge. I would love to ask briefly, can you just very, very briefly give more, what is that like? I would imagine that's like taking a break from technology in general, please.
Well, yeah, the fact that we had it online doesn't necessarily afford people the ability to take a break from
I get it.
but we did offer it online so that we could, reach a broader audience. And it was really a personal challenge. Right. So you went, we offered activities day to day that would allow the individual and give tips and activities to kind of scale back on the polarization that they're feeling in their life, different ways that they can combat that. And, and they were really simple tips. So it was really perfect. It went on for 4 weeks. And again, each day there was different activities that were offered and different tips that were offered.
Okay. Interesting. Just my brain just went there, so I just wanted to have to go off the script and ask that question real quick, Beth, but I appreciate that answer. Now, getting back to this film, one interesting thing about this that I like, actually, and I'm an advocate for this. This film challenges the ideas that citizens who disagree can't engage in a civil conversation, having those uncomfortable conversations. I like that, by the way. What practical steps can communities take to foster these types of conversations?
Yeah. So I think what the main thing that we need to remember is that we need to be comfortable with the idea that we may not all agree. That is often the case. We find somebody that we don't agree with, and we will always come across people like that in our daily lives. And it feels uncomfortable when we don't agree. But we do need to get comfortable with the idea that that may not always happen. And to reach a resolution on any given topic does not require that we agree with the person that we're talking to. So it is okay that we continue to disagree. So what we typically say is There's three things. One, that you need to be able to see people as people in their complete humanity, and to not see them as, only one part of themselves. Like often we see people as, however they lean politically, or maybe the faith that they practice, and we only see that part of them. So we need to see them in their complete humanity. Two, we need to value those that we run into in our day-to-day lives, those that we're having conversations with, and be open to being influenced by them. And three, we need to learn to work towards understanding together so we can find new solutions.
Yeah. I think that's a great recipe for having civil conversations with people, even if we disagree with them. I just see it as having a different perspective at one thing. We all look at different things, look at the same thing from a different perspective and angle. With us right here live on The Splash from the Interfaith Leadership Council of Metro Detroit, we have Assistant Program Manager Beth Falinsky talking about the Undivided film screening happening at the West Bloomfield Township Public Library Monday, September 23rd from 6 to 8:30 p.m. Beth, we appreciate your time here. Real quick before we let you go, just two other questions. One, what do you want the residents and community of West Bloomfield to take away from seeing this film?
I think the most important thing that we would like people to remember is that conflict is inevitable. We're always going to find someone that we disagree with, have differing opinions about, but that polarization does not have to automatically follow that. We don't automatically have to be polarized and feel this toxic polarization. So we hope that people will come away from the screening with that feeling, and then we also hope that people will go away in feeling empowered to reach beyond their own community and their own community groups, to have these meaningful conversations with those that they run into in their lives, or to simply extend kindness to those that they run into.
There we go. Perfect place to land a plane. Beth, last opportunity. If you have any last messages, want to promote the film and where it will be again, or talk about the event, please tell our West Bloomfield community now.
Yeah, we just hope that we will see you there. Again, visit our website, DetroitInterfaithCouncil.com, to sign up for the film screening. It's Monday night at the West Bloomfield Library, 6 to 8:30 p.m. And we really hope to see you there.
Yes. And I want to thank you all again for putting on this type of event, especially during the political season where we know that is very, very necessary. Once again, with us live on The Splash, we want to thank her Interfaith Leadership Council of Metro Detroit Assistant Program Manager, Beth Falinsky. We appreciate your time and information.
Thank you so much for having me.
One of the best films for the weekend, I'm already calling. It's going to beat Beetlejuice and everything. I need you to go support that at our local West Bloomfield Township Public Library. For more information regarding that, DetroitInterfaithCouncil.com regarding that film, Undivide Us. And since we have a lot going on right here in West Bloomfield today, it's a reminder that household hazardous waste drop-off begins today. Now, it is an event. You can also drop off your electronics and shredding collection events that will happen also. We'll talk about that soon. But essentially, West Bloomfield, Kegel Harbor, Orchard Lake, Sylvan Lake, come out starting today, actually. It'll be senior drop-off night, 4 to 6 p.m., by the way. That's happening today. Then all residents of the 4 communities may drop theirs off. That'll be tomorrow, Saturday, September 21st, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Then the shredding events, that'll be happening next weekend, which we will give you more information on. That'll be the 28th, senior drop-off happening on that Friday. For more information, go directly to the West Bloomfield Township website. That'll be wbtownship.org for more information regarding that. Take advantage of it while you do have it, while we have a little bit of time to do some fall cleaning as well. The first theatrical performance of the year is coming soon to our very own West Bloomfield High School. That will be on October 5th, 2 p.m. You can come and see The Rainbow Fish, a 45-minute play at West Bloomfield High School based on the book written by Marcus Pfister. If you're watching on CivicCenterTV.com right now, you can see that graphic, and you can scan that QR code for more information. By the way, tickets are just $5 cash or $7.50 if you are using a credit card for that surcharge. For an additional $5 though, you can get a special backstage pass, and the kids can get their very own photo taken on the stage. I think you can't beat that for $10 or $12.50. Sounds like a great deal. For more information, go directly to the Facebook page of West Bloomfield Schools. That's West Bloomfield Schools on Facebook for more information regarding that. Now, we all like to contribute to having a great, safe environment, which also includes the outside, our ecosystem. You want to be a good environmental steward with helpful advice from our very own WB Parks. Each month, in case you didn't know, West Bloomfield Park shares some ideas on how we can all live just a little bit greener. Their green dream for the month of September is to reduce fossil fuel use. A recent Facebook post talks about some of the important ways that fossil fuel use can be minimized, especially in the laundry room. You can reduce your carbon dioxide emission by about 550 pounds by simply choosing cold or warm water over hot water on just 2 loads of laundry a week. Did you know that? I didn't. We all learned today, by the way. Additionally, line drying your clothes can help environment and your wallet, by the way, the electricity use from your dryer. So skipping that dryer, hanging your clothes out on your wash, and also doing different things help reduce fossil fuel use. So if you want more expert opinion and information regarding this, go directly to the website wbparks.org, or you can make it easier and go directly to their Facebook at WB Parks as well. Make sure you mark your calendars and get your tickets ready for a very unique chance to learn skills in business and leadership, and it's happening right here in the Greater West Bloomfield community. The Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce has set the date for its 2024 Leadership Luncheon. If you're watching on CivicCenterTV.com, you can see these beautiful faces of our headliners. Headlining again this year, Fox 2 News evening anchor Roop Raj, along with Crane Communications President and CEO KC Crane. This is a very special event that will be held on Friday, October 11th at 11 a.m. This will be at the Wabeat Country Club as well. Great opportunity for you to network, meet with other people, and get some great advice, like we said, in both leadership and business. There's a slight cost to this that you might want to pay attention to. $65 to attend for chamber members, but if you are not a chamber member, it's only an additional $10, making it $75 for non-members. They want you to register by September 30th as well. So if you want to, go directly to the Facebook West Bloomfield CC, or you can go directly to their website as well, westbloomfieldchamber.com, for more information regarding that. And for everything Civic Center TV and West Bloomfield, you can follow us on all of our social media, and we are also live on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15, as well as YouTube at Civic Center TV as well. And stay up to date with all of our latest interviews on our website CivicCenterTV.com. Click on the On-Demand tab for all of your previous interviews and segments. We thank you so much for joining us right here on Civic Center TV. Once again, I am your host, Kevin McIntosh, and we are always live, local, and social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.